Welcome back to Rich Words Music, where today we're looking at this. It's the Joyo Uzi Overdrive or Distortion pedal, depending on how you look at it. Now this pedal is based on the iconic Friedman BE-OD Overdrive pedal, and the Friedman BE-OD has become something of an icon among guitar players looking for higher gain Marshall JCM type sounds. Now that pedal, the Friedman, is based on the Friedman BE-100 amplifier, which is in turn based on a number of high gain Marshall amps, including the JCM 800. So what we've got here is a very affordable version of that sound. Now you can pick up the Joyo Uzi for under $50 or 50 euros new. I happen to find this one for 30 euros here on the local marketplace, so very, very cheap indeed. And what I want to do in this video is find out how close this pedal gets us to amazing high gain Marshall sounds, but more than that as well, because I play indie rock, I play classic rock, I play a bunch of lower gain styles too. So we're going to test the Uzi out and see how it deals with those sorts of genres, those sorts of sound, with single coil pickups and with humbucking pickups too. Now I'll also give you some full and detailed opinions of mine about this pedal. I've played it quite a lot since I've owned it. I've used it in a variety of different settings, and I will tell you whether or not I think it's going to be worth your money at the end of the day, so stick around for that. But first, let me tell you about the specifications and the features of the Joyo Uzi. So this is it. We've got 6 main knobs on the front of the pedal and the on-off switch. At the back and sides, we also have some pretty nifty red lights that you can either have engaged at all times or when you've got the pedal turned on, or you can switch them off if you don't want them either. But it's a pretty cool touch, especially at this price, to be able to have. So when it comes to the 6 knobs then, we have a big volume and a big gain control, and we have 4 EQ sculpting knobs across the second row here. So from my left to right, we have a low, mid, high and bias control, a 3-band EQ for lows, mids and highs, and Joyo tell us that the bias control can be used to alter the tonal characteristics of the amp. They say you can switch from a more British flavour through to a more American flavour, so basically a more Marshall-esque mid-pushed sound through to a smoother, more mezza boogie influenced sort of tonality. But what I've found, and I think what your ears will find too, is that as you up the bias control, what you're basically doing is filtering out some unwanted low end, possibly pushing the high end slightly and tightening up your tone, which is great for heavier high gain sounds where you want a tighter chugging sort of a tone. This is also a very similar control to the tight control found on the Friedman BE Overdrive pedal, just for your information. And one last note, there's no space for a battery compartment here. You plug in via a standard 9-volt power supply to power this pedal. And so what we're going to do now then is play the Uzi in as many different musical styles as possible. We'll be using my Hughes & Kettner Black Spirit 200 amplifier head for the duration of today's demo, and we'll be on a pretty neutral clean sound for most of the time, because the Uzi is supposed to be able to turn a clean amp into a high gain monster. We'll kind of wind the gain up as we go, I think. So we'll start with some indie stuff, some folky stuff, some blues as well. We'll gradually progress into indie rock, classic rock, and then some punk as well, some progressive rock, some harder rock, and then we'll tune down to drop D at the end and play some high gain metal sounds as well. Now I'll be using 2 guitars today, my Fender Telecaster for single coil tones. Note that that guitar has a neck humbucker, but I'll be in single coil mode on it the whole time. And for humbucking tones, we'll be using my Epiphone Les Paul Traditional Pro. What we'll also do at the end is turn the amplifier over to the crunch channel and hear how the Uzi goes into an already dirty amplifier. And after that, I'll play a couple of different loops, one with each guitar, where we really get to twist the knobs and hear the different sounds that this pedal has to offer. Enough talk then, this is the Joyo Uzi Overdrive or Distortion pedal. Let's play it now and we'll speak in more detail about it afterwards. Okay then, so that was the Joyo Uzi pedal, and I hope you enjoyed the playing and the tones. And if you weren't really familiar with this kind of drive before, well, now you know what it does. It turns a clean amp into an absolute high gain monster at the flick of a switch, and it's fantastic for that. And for 50 bucks new, it's really a no-brainer. If that's all you needed to know, you can probably switch off now, to be honest, because that is going to be enough for you to go and check this pedal out. But let me tell you, if you want to stick around for a bit, my opinions on this pedal in a little bit more detail. So we'll start by talking about the things I like about it, and first it's those sounds. For everything from medium drive through to full-on heavy metal, it's a fantastic pedal, and with the use of these powerful EQ controls and this bias control, you can really sculpt your tones to get pretty much anything out of this pedal. I thought it sounds great with my Tele for single coil sounds, and equally great with my Epiphone Les Paul for humbucking tones, but it's possibly slightly more with humbucking sounds. That said, with the gain turned down low with the Telecaster on my neck pickup and with both pickups together, we got some pretty nice bluesy sounds and some Quacky Hendrixy sort of tones, which were really, really decent. You can't really get those with this pedal and the humbuckers of the Les Paul. That wants to go straight away to heavier rock sounds. But for those heavier rock sounds, for punk rock, for harder rock, for the progressive rock stuff that we did, the alt rock, and even the metal, fantastic from start to finish. Now, if you're someone who really wants to play super tight, modern, progressive metal sort of stuff that's really chuggy with a really fast attack, you're probably going to want to tweak the bias control, have it all the way up, and possibly even add a boost or a tube screamer in front of the Uzi to give yourself even more gain. But for me personally, there's more than enough drive in this pedal for anything that I'm going to be doing. And if I am going to be playing more progressive stuff with a more fast attack, with more chugs, then I'm going to use a different pedal. Now, I also think that this bias control is very, very cool. I don't really see the whole Marshall to Mesa Boogie sort of thing, but I found that having it up beyond 12 o'clock gave me the right amount of tightness and the right amount of clarity that I needed for most of the genres of music that I play. And just to go back to the pedal's versatility again, listen to the two loops again in a bit more detail if you want, where I'm tweaking the EQ controls, the gain knob, and the bias knob as well. You can really get so many different tones for this pedal, so it's fantastic in that regard. Full marks to Joyo for the sounds. Now, the rest of the stuff that I like about this pedal, the price obviously, it's very, very affordable, and actually for the price, the build quality is pretty good. It's a decent, solid metal chassis. The only thing that I would say feels a little bit cheap are the knobs themselves, but put this on a pedal board and stamp on it for a few gigs now and then, and I don't think you're going to get any problems whatsoever. I also think that the lights are a pretty cool touch here on the back. Totally pointless as well if you think about it, because they don't make you sound better, of course, but if that's something you want, then super cool to have. And this also sets the Joyo pedals apart from the other drive pedals out there. It's a pretty cool thing for Joyo to have stuck into this pedal, and again at this price point too. So there's a lot to like about the Joyo Uzi, but what about the stuff that I don't like so much? Well, there's not really much, and again, especially for the price. I mean, I could say it's got too much gain in it and I'd want to do lower gain stuff with the Les Paul, but that's not what this pedal is built for at all. It's built to rock, and it does that very well indeed. So that's not really a negative point. I guess the one thing that I can say is that if you're really tweaking these four mini knobs here, they do get a little bit fiddly. If you've got chunky fingers like I have, you'll probably want to set them and forget them, and then you're going to be all good. And I guess the last little possible negative that I could bring up is the fact that this pedal may well indeed be a clone of another pedal, namely the Friedman BE-OD. Is that a problem? What do you think about it? Leave me your comments down there and we'll get a little discussion going. So if you've been watching this pedal and you like what you hear, but you want to try out something else in that high gain Marshall sort sort of a flavour, what else is there to go for? Well, if you want the real deal, the Friedman BE Overdrive or the BE-OD Deluxe, which is a 2-channel version of that pedal, are amazing pedals. I'm currently on the lookout for one at a decent second-hand price, and I'll compare the two when I do get a Friedman in my hands. But the Friedman is a fantastic, fantastic pedal, and it really does deserve its place as an icon of the modern high-gain game. Now, if you wanted to get similar high-gain Marshall tones from a more affordable type of pedal, but not the Joyo, then there's other things like the new Fireman, which is a 2-channel version of this kind of circuit. Very, very decent pedal indeed, and I have videos, by the way, of that pedal and many more up at the links up there. Then there's the new Plexi Crunch, which is more of a high-gain plexi sort of a sound, but a very decent pedal too. And if you're looking for a small one in terms of footprint and price, well, there's the classic Tone City Golden Plexi. This is the Golden Plexi 2, and again, video of that one up there if you want to watch it. A fantastic pedal. For a little bit more money and more flexibility still though, there is the Carl Martin Plexi Ranger, and this is a high-gain plexi pedal plus a treble booster on the other side, so it's a fantastic high-gain monster of a pedal. Sounds absolutely wonderful, and that is part of a plexi shootout video that I've done, which you can watch up there as well. Finally, if you do want to do a bit more high gain and have a bit more tightness and a bit more modernity to the sounds that you're getting, well, I could recommend you the brother to the Uzi, which is the Joyo Dark Flame. That is a fantastic pedal too. It's based on the Rev G3 and Rev G4 pedals, and I've done a video of the Dark Flame there as well if you'd like to watch that one afterwards. So there's plenty of competition out there, but I would have to say at the end of the day that the Uzi is absolutely worth it if you're looking to add a medium to high gain Marshall type pedal to your pedal board and you don't want to spend too much money. It does the tones, it sounds authentic, it's fantastic in that sense. It works great with all of the guitars I've tried it with. It runs fantastically into a clean amp, and it goes well into a dirty amplifier as well. It will give you, in short, all of those Marshall high gain tones that you desire, and then some. So 2 thumbs up from me for the Uzi pedal. I hope that this video has answered all of the questions that you might have had about the Uzi, but if there's anything else you'd want to know, drop me a line down there in the comments and I shall answer to the best of my ability. And if you're still around, it would make my day if you wanted to like the video or even sub to my channel, because that really does help. But that's been it for today's video. I've been Rich for Rich Words Music, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.